Humpty Dumpty sneers at Alice for her use of a word. When I use a word, Humpty Dumpty says, it means just what I choose it to mean, neither more nor less. Lewis Carroll, author of Alice in Wonderland, summarizes the problem with words. We ask good questions such as, can I trust what you say? Or, how do you know that my words are true? We have been arguing about words ever since the snake uttered the famous line about God's word, did God really say? Near the beginning of one class I teach at Public University, students use their phones to discover the etymology, the origin of a word that we are studying that day. Why? I am anxious that my students understand that every term has a past, which informs how that word might be used in the present. Take, for example, the word think. When students discover the origin of think, they find that the word meant how something appears to oneself. Whatever we think about is how we see things. Do you see? Even the word think suggests that our focus is on ourselves. We form our thoughts, we define our words, we originate meaning, and therein lies the problem. We become the final arbiter, the ultimate judge of all of what words mean. Now, some will argue that words have a long human history and are not owed a Christian source. Surprisingly, perhaps to some, I agree. The origins instead are Hebraic, indeed from the origin of human history in Eden. The first twisting of words was appropriated by our adversary, the devil. And if horror movies are any indication, Satan is not going away anytime soon. This summer, I will concern myself with the appropriation of words. Cultural usages of Hebraic Christian terms will be investigated. Words such as redemption, guilt, salvation, and forgiveness. If ever someone wanted to call out cultural appropriation, which is the adoption of certain elements of another culture by the dominant culture, it should begin with the use and abuse of biblical words in American culture. Both the snake and Humpty Dumpty have a point. As I've told my students for years, whoever controls the definition controls the conversation. Appropriate and reinterpret to your heart's content. My job is to have you pick up your phone and look up the etymology, the history of words. Acknowledging the source of a word will display the intention of a word and the power that is lost when the dominant culture of the day uses and misuses that word. For Truth in Two, this is Dr. Mark Eckel, president of the Comenius Institute, personally calling out cultural appropriation of Christian words.